guys? It's your boy Moto MMA, aka Jason Boss, bringing you another video. If you could, please comment, like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Now on to today's several topic video, okay? Before we get into the whole MMA side of the video and boxing and things like that, first off, guys, I want to say I am sorry that I've been gone so long. I've had a lot of things going. It's no excuse. My new schedule will be every Wednesday, guys. I'm going to try to stick to that, get you guys out a video. I'm going to do that every week. I'm going to try to become a more faithful YouTuber, like all the way. I had a couple incidents happen. Like I was going to do this whole series on a older gold wing, but, you know, unfortunately, I ended up having to sell the bike because I had some personal issues and like all this kind of stuff went on, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into all that, but, yeah, I had a few stumbling blocks, but your boy is back, and I'm not going to let life get me down. And I definitely will, next time you guys see me, I'm going to be shaved too, man. I got this new job where I'm getting up early in the morning, and I'm just too tired to, do anything. But anyhow, Jake Paul and Anderson Silva. What is my thoughts on that, guys? I'm not a Jake Pauler, okay? I don't jump on the bandwagon, you know. I'm not like, oh my God, if you say you love Jake, you get a bunch of views. Go Team Jakey. No, that is not me, okay? That is not me. But I gotta call it how I see it. Jake Paul picked a good opponent. Jake Paul picked an opponent that I respect, that most of the MMA community respects. A lot of the boxing community respects. If you guys don't know, Anderson Silva has actually had, I believe, 3 recent boxing matches, and one being Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and won. He was never really a joke in MMA when it came to the hands and head movement and just feet placement. Like, he knew how to bob and weave. Granted, yes, he did get caught by Chris Weidman eventually. I mean, we all get caught eventually. But all in all, though, Anderson went less without getting caught than definitely you would say would getting caught. I mean, the guy knows how to move. He's got some really great hands. And unlike a lot of other MMA fighters, he's been able to put down all his other disciplines and pick up boxing more and just really kind of become successful at it. Even though he's an older guy, he's actually become very good at it. So on that note, I can't say that Jake Paul picked a bad opponent. Now, I know everyone's going to say, well, Jake Paul is so much more younger than Anderson Silva. So, you know, once again, Jake's picking the older guy. He's picking the MMA fighter that went out on, you know, a bad note because Anderson's last, you know, fight in the UFC, he didn't win. So they're like, you know, that typical Jake again. But guys, hold up just a little bit on the judgment. I agree. Yes, Jake is probably playing this somewhat to his favor. But at the same time, he's definitely putting himself in somewhat of a harm's way too. He's not totally watering it down, guys. I mean, if we want to say totally water it down, and I'm not picking on you because you're like a massive YouTuber, you probably won't even know I ever made this video. But when we saw KSI's last boxing match, guys, come on, man. He fought 2 pros in one night, 2 pros, and I definitely use the quotations because these guys, they sucked. They did not want to be there. They didn't want to fight. The one dude was like a friend of his / rapper, and they made like some fake beef to that. And the pro fighter, he just didn't want to be in there from the get-go. So, you know, that is leaning a fight really into your favor. You know, that is like picking somebody you know that you can definitely beat. I mean, even if you want to say maybe Jake Paul and Ben Askren was, you know, a lot more into Jake Paul's favor. Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, too, I think could have went either way. But Jake Paul pulled the victory off, definitely big time in that. I think Woodley was just kind of different for the money, so he jumped right back in there. So I can't say that all of Jake is completely lean towards Jake's way. Like I said, he's had some fights, yes, that I would say that was probably more in his favor than not. But on this one, I can't particularly say that, yes, Anderson Silva is going to lose. Yes, Jake Paul's going to beat him. And I don't think anyone can actually really say that on this one. I think we're all kind of on the edge of our seat, like, what can really happen? This is actually a very good fight. Now, the whole Hasim Rahman Jr. thing, I didn't want to see that fight. I think that would have been a good fight. Would Jake win or lose that fight? I don't know. You know what I mean? We didn't get a chance to see that. But I will say Jake went from a potentially dangerous person in the Hasim Rahman Jr. to a potentially dangerous person in Anderson Silva. So therefore, I have to finally say we got to give Jake a little bit more respect than what we had, even if you were not a Team Jake Pauler. He did not go from seemingly dangerous to, very easy. Even if you want to count Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury was an actual, boxer or whatever. So to me, Jake has went from somewhat dangerous situation to somewhat dangerous situation to somewhat dangerous situation. He's not backed down and went to no easier fight. So, you have to say at some point or another, maybe Jake Paul really is beginning to take boxing serious. Yes, he is still kind of pulling in the celebrity pool, I guess, by doing the MMA versus UFC thing. Or he did try to do, the boxer versus boxer. I mean, granted, we didn't know who Rahman really was quite as much as we did Jake. But, I think to a certain extent, Jake is still a businessman, and he's still in it to make money. And obviously, Anderson Silva is going to be a big draw, and it's still going to be probably a money maker. And I think this is something that Jake wants too. You know what I mean? He wants that money, and he's not in the position, I would say, right now that the top boxers want to fight him. You know what I mean? Some of them has called him out, but I think Jake wants to make sure he's in that position where he feels good enough to call him out, because losing too soon or jumping up too soon could cause, some damage to his reputation, therefore damage to his money. So as far as progression goes, I will give Jake Paul the credit. Fine. Good job, Jake. You win on this one. You have you've made your boy Moto MMA more of a believer, and maybe you really are trying to become a real, boxer. Now, Nate Diaz, where does he fit in this whole boxing scenario? Guys, I don't know, okay? Money-wise, if Jake Paul beats Anderson, turns around, and then fights Nate Diaz, I definitely think money-wise we would have a big draw. I think we'd have an entertaining fight because Nate loves to talk, Nate can be very interesting and funny. Jake can be a big trash talker, and he can be very interesting and funny. I don't know much about, for lack of better words, like who will seem the most intelligent in this one, because Nate's a trash talker, but he don't really get that deep and philosophical. He's like just more like, yeah, F you, because he sucks. Something like that. Or, what was it? Don't be scared, homie. He's going to keep it pretty simple. Jake may do something elaborate on YouTube, but usually it shows in the press conference. Not so much. But, we might get a brawl prior to this fight, because as we can see, when Nate Diaz is in the area, from the Carter fight to his last fight we just saw with Tony Ferguson, sometime before fights happen, there's fights that happen in the back room. So we may get a decent brawl with Nate Diaz and Jake Paul and them going on. So this fight, that fight should be called The Gangster. I swear, it would be awesome. Now, who would Nate fight other than Jake that would be a big draw? I don't know. We'd have to see. We'd have to see what would happen from there. Because I think if Jake loses to Anderson Silva, I don't know if Nate jumps in and boxes Anderson Silva. I don't know if Nate jumps in and boxes a regular boxer. I just don't know, because I've always seen the Diaz brothers. They punch in bunches. You know what I mean? they score the points and things like that. They haven't really been highly known for the knockout. They can get it, but they haven't been highly known for it. And I just feel like in boxing, like their style might lead to somebody maybe, looking like they score more points on them because Nate gets busted up kind of easy. Nate gets cut kind of easy. You know what I mean? And you just kind of hitting the tip tap while the other guys like rocking you. It can look to the judges like you lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? Controversial loss like to Conor McGregor could be a problem with Nate Diaz unless Nate Diaz is learning to really pack that power in that punch and things like that. Do I think Nate Diaz could beat Jake Paul? I don't know. I think Jake has definitively more power. And even though the Diaz brothers have never been knocked out before, but at that point, they wouldn't be able to rely on their wrestling, their jiu-jitsu, the other guy going for takedowns. It would just be straight punches. You know what I mean? I think Jake stands a chance because obviously what we saw, Jake does seem to train pretty hard. Now, can Jake be overwhelmed by Nate? That's something we would have to really see. With the cardio pace slow Jake down, that's something we'll have to really see because we haven't really seen Jake, per se, push to the limits. He did seem tired in his last fight with Woodley, so, maybe it pushed to the limits and the pace that Nate could put on him. Who knows? Jake might actually lose that fight. So it looks like in the YouTube boxing community, we've got a lot of great things to come down the pipe and a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing. Last but certainly not least, Tony Ferguson. I just want to say, you know what? He lost his fight, but he had a great attitude, guys. I don't know whether you've seen the post-fight interview, and he was basically just encouraged, even though he lost. You know what I mean? He took it in stride. He took it as saying, you know what? I've been knocked out. I've been beat up, but I had a great time. So that was pretty awesome to see. Do I think I want to continue to see him fight? I don't know, man. He's going to have to really show something because CTE is a real thing, and he's had a lot of tough fights, and it just keeps getting kind of hurt. So I don't know, I don't know about all that. But, like I say, we'll see, guys. Other than that, guys, I've got a lot of other great content coming your way. I believe I have some motorcycle things in the works, so you'll get to see that soon. I definitely have some firearm things in the works, so you'll get to see that soon. I definitely have some live boxing, me sparring things coming up soon. So it's going to be a lot of great things down the pipe. Again, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe. It's your boy, Moda MMA, a.k.a. Jason Boss, saying thank you so very much for all yours. Just watching and viewing and being a subscriber and the best part of this YouTube channel. We'll talk to you later. Peace.